Good morning, Desert Sands Unified School District. My name is Sean Webb, and I'm your Director of Community Engagement and the Educational Foundation. I'm here with Classroom Conversations for episode 62. Classroom Conversations is a show where we engage our Desert Sands Unified School District community. I would like to thank the Desert Sands Educational Foundation for providing this platform for us to do so, and I'd like to go ahead and read their mission statement. The Desert Sands Educational Foundation secures funding and awards money to provide supplemental resources that enrich and enhance student learning in Desert Sands Unified School District. Our vision statement: in partnership with public and private sectors, Desert Sands Educational Foundation financially supports creative and innovative programs that enrich and enhance the educational experience, the academics, the arts, extracurricular activities that engage all students and staff in DSUSD. We do this obviously to partner with the district. We partner with the different departments and so forth. And today we are going to speak with kind of the topics for today. Oh, I forgot to change the date. It's actually for today, the 18th, but we're going to go over DSUSD social media. We're going to speak with Kevin Bebo, who's going to talk about Skills USA, CTE, and summer school. And then we're going to join, Dan Capello is going to join us to help us boost our ratings and talk about nutritional services and everything going on. But let's go ahead and bring on Chef Mary with this. Good morning, Chef Mary. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. It's wonderful. It didn't snow yesterday, and the sun came out, and lots of people were out sitting in the sun, getting little suntans, and lots of little kids. But we're seeing less families now. I think everybody is back in school.
Okay. So if I had the opportunity to take some time, this would be the time to come up there, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Today was relatively quiet. Tuesday was really, really busy. Bear had a St. Patty's Day event over there, sort of a promotional picture thing. We're not really taking still crowds yet, but we're still going to stay in the same mode we are now. We're not changing our protocol. Okay. Even though we could, we're going to stay as we are until we close.
That makes sense. You know, why do it? Because you guys only have a couple more weeks, right? Why put in everything that you've been working so successful with and changing it, right?
Yeah, April the 11th is the official day that they will close the resort unless something happens in the meantime. But that's what we're headed for. Okay. And we've really decided that what we have that's working quite well, that we're not going to make a change now. Some of our seasonal people are already leaving because they know that they'll be leaving. So transitioning is happening, but it's good. It's all good.
Excellent. So I'm going to get right to it. We got a busy morning. I'll tell you, we've got Mr. Bebo, who's going to come out with us shortly, and Mr. Capello. But I want to share with you some of our social media that's been going on since we last were on together. We've been promoting this K-5 video about the opening procedures. Highly recommend you go ahead and check that out. Mary, I'll send you the link direct. I worked with this project with Sean Encinias, Stefan, who's a Palm Desert alum, who's a CTE student over there, as well as with Mary Perry and Jan Diaz on it. It's a great video. I highly recommend it. And it's fun to see the kids on campus. Like I said, I had a great time filming that video because it was the first time I got to see kids on the playground for the long time.
Yep.
Hey, here yesterday we talked to our interim transportation manager. We met with Jessica, that was KESQ, and they're just finding out about the updates in transportation and what that looks like with going to school. KESQ is also here. He's going to be joining us shortly. Dan Capello. He was interviewed in the kitchen yesterday. It's funny, Madison, who's the reporter that came over, Mary Perry and I kind of figured out we started the pandemic with her. March 13th of last year, we were at a school site covering some things going on with Madison, and it was the last day of school. We actually took a selfie together, and we actually relived that moment yesterday. It was kind of fun. Yeah. But also I want to highlight, we had our school board meeting, and at the school board meeting, they said March 29th will be the return for 6 through 12 in hybrid learning. Mr. Bailey stated that. So that's really exciting. That's coming up. And one of the things that Mr. Bailey said during our board meeting, this is crazy, Mary. He's made it to every single one of our elementaries so far.
Oh my gosh.
Every single one of them. That's over 20 schools that he's been able to make it to pop in and to be with the kids, see what's going on in the classroom. So I'm just pretty awesome that he's been able to do that.
Yeah, and I think that makes a big difference. I find that everywhere you work, if your leaders are there and you see them, I think it makes a big difference.
Definitely.
You know that they're there and they're actually a person, and you can put a name with the person, especially little kids.
Yeah, and lastly, I want to go ahead and just highlight the website again. I've been saying this a lot during the pandemic that you're only as good as the information you receive, right? And you go out and seek. So DSUSD.us has got some great information. And if you go to /in-person, they also have all the videos that talk about welcome back to the classroom, as well as if you go to the section over here, Super Seconds. That's that like I've promoted over and over again, Mary. That's for you and I. That kind of brings it down. Those 50 and 100-page documents down to bullet form for it. So, luckily, Mr. Bailey does that for us. So I highly recommend that you check those out. Definitely. But Mary, let's go ahead and we'll bring on one of our guests. I worked with him, for a couple of years as we were colleagues from different school sites, and then we got to work together for a year. But let's go ahead and we're going to bring on Mr. Kevin Bebo, the Director of College and Career Readiness. Mr. Bebo, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, and good morning, everybody. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Oh, we got a little bit of an echo there, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Maybe you could tell us a little bit what's going on in your world. I put down CTE, the Skills USA, and I put down summer school. We got a couple things to talk about. Hey, Bebo time, go for it.
Okay, so our career technical education programs at Desert Saints are very, very strong. We've got over 20 different pathways at the 4 traditional high schools and our 1 alternate ed high school site. And as a component of these programs, the students compete in a variety of different organizations, one of which is called Skills USA. And the competitions happen every year. Usually the regional competitions are in February, and then there's a state level, and then ultimately that there's a national level that happens in May and June. So this year we have 4 high schools that have not just competed, but they've also placed to the regional level, and they'll be moving on to, or at the local level, they'll be moving on to the state level here. And so there are students from Amistad's auto program that will be moving on. From India, we have students that competed in woodworking, urban search and rescue, and drafting. At Palm Desert High School, students that competed in broadcast news production, career pathway showcase, television video production, audio, radio production, digital cinema production, medical math, medical terminology, all moving on to the state level. And Shadow Hills, students in first aid and CPR that competed as well. So we're excited for those students. It's a great opportunity for them to learn to express what it is that they have learned in their programs and to share that with other people. Some of these programs, some of these competitions include a presentation of their work. And so they get to articulate what it is they've been working on, what it is they've learned. And that's a great piece of the puzzle for them as they continue to work on their career skills and move into the next phase of their education, whether that be at the community college, at a 4-year university, at a trade school, whatever it might be, or right into work. I mean, this all is really helpful for them.
That's just outstanding that you guys are able to give them those opportunities. I know that Chef Mary has some personal experience with Skills USA as well. Mary, maybe you want to share a little bit about the competitions that you participated with the students with this?
Yes, we did, Kevin. We did the culinary program with Skills USA. And Wayne Brooks was he was one of our mentors from Sherman's Deli. And unfortunately, Mr. Brooks passed away, I think, the following summer. But he was always there with even ProStart and Skills USA. So we had a basic menu to design. And we had several students involved. And then as time went on, they went on to other things. But Jared stayed with us. We took him to Skills USA, and he placed 4th out of 25. Mm-hmm. We thought he should have gotten first, of course. But we took him from our brand new 12,000 square foot kitchen to a kitchen that was quite old and very different for him to work in. But he pulled it off, and it was really well organized. We had a great time. We did a big party celebration for him, and consequently, Jared went on to COD, and I believe he graduated from their program.
Yep, he graduated from the program. Yeah. So, Mr. Bebo, I've got a question for you in regards to Skills USA. Mary went to I believe that was at Riverside Community College when they had that competition.
Yes.
This was obviously different. Could you share a little bit about what the atmosphere was during a pandemic and what the Skills USA Challenge looked like now?
Sure. So Skills USA had to pivot away from that in-person competition that would typically happen at RCC or at Valley College. That's been another location they've used in the past. So they've gone to an online format where the students are given a task. They're given about a week or so to complete it, and then they present the results. And the results are not just physically, this is what we created, if it's a video or if it's like woodworking or architecture, something like that. But also it includes the presentation of what it is that they created. And that piece is so important as they articulate what it is that they've done, what it is that they've learned.
Okay, so it becomes project-based. I love it. If you think about it, a lot of the things that you do in your office, I do in my office, and then what Chef Mary and I did together when we were working at La Quinta, it's all project-based. So I love that it's very career-driven and it's very real-world. So I love that they offer those opportunities. And I'm going to put you on the spot here. I see some dates on your whiteboard, and I'm not sure if you did that on purpose or not. Talk to us about summer school. What's going on here?
Yeah, so summer school is a big project this year for the school district. With everything that's gone on in the last year and a half, we've always offered a credit recovery summer school in high school for the high school level kids. But this year we'll be expanding it so that there'll be opportunities for middle and elementary students as well. Right now our focus is in fact on the high school program, and that includes ESY, which is extended school year for our special ed students. So what Sean's showing right now, so that everybody can mark that down, are the dates, our approved dates for summer school, which will start on June 8th and conclude on July 15th, and the times during the day, 7:45 to 1:30. So if you have a student that is interested in attending summer school at both the traditional and the alternative campuses, this is going to be the schedule of dates and times. After we get this, we're in the process right now of getting this rolling. I'm meeting with the summer school principals as this afternoon, as a matter of fact. We've been sending out an interest Google form survey to parents and students, and we've received back, as of right now, over 1,122. That's just for high school programs, and it's March 18th. So this is going to be a big program, and we're going to do it this year at every single high school sites, traditional and alternative. For the middle school and for the elementaries, we're still working on it. We'll be providing services at many of the sites. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be all of them yet. That remains to be seen. But for the high school, for credit recovery and for extended school year special ed, for sure, we'll be at every site on these dates during these times.
Okay. So I'm going to date myself a little bit here. The last time that we had a traditional middle school summer school was my second year as being an assistant principal in the district, and that was back in 2008. So this is quite a feat for us to be able to offer summer school, not just for our high school students for credit recovery, but the opportunities that we're going to have this year due to the circumstances for our K through 8. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, at the middle school last year, we offered a summer bridge program using Avid curriculum that was very successful. We plan on expanding that for our middle school. And, we're also talking about different dates. The summer school schedule may not look like the one that we use for high school. It may shift depending on the needs of the students. And similarly for the elementary, it'll be built on what are the needs of the student at the site and how can we help them get ready for the next school year. There's been no doubt that this last year that we've gone through in education has been unique. I've spent the last, 3 out of the last 4 days at Washington Elementary. They're greeting the elementary students. And, I'm not an elementary educator. I'm definitely secondary and collegiate. But I tell you what, I was so happy to see those kids walking on campus. They were so excited, and that energy, you can just feel it. It's great. So I'm really happy for them, and I'm looking forward to getting the middle of the high school students when they get back on campus here at the end of the month. That too will affect the format of summer school, which is we work with summer school principals will be determined based on the needs of the students.
Excellent. Chef Mary, any questions about summer school or CTE for Mr. Bebo?
I just want to share something about Skills USA with you, Kevin. What we found is that it was a great opportunity for them to really step forward and show what they really could accomplish, because everything is time-based and location-based. It gave us a chance to have our mentors and our other outside chefs and people come in and help, and it opened a door for them to help. I know Chef Brooks came in. I think we practiced almost every night, but it gave the kids a chance to meet other people that were doing the same thing they were doing from different schools and different levels. And it was really fun, just even with ProStart. I think it really makes them hone in on their skills, and it gives them something to actually work toward. And to come in fourth out of 25 children or students, that was just a huge award for Jared and for us as well. So I'm a big component of those competitions.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, just like in athletics, without competition, you're not going to grow as much. And it's the same thing here with what students are learning in career and technical education. The more they're challenged, the more that they're going to excel and the more they're going to learn. And then there's another component here too, Mary. I'm not sure if this was your experience, but I know for lots of teachers, the opportunity to collaborate with other instructors of like subject, which they don't get generally. I mean, we have in our entire district 2 teachers that teach our media program, and right now just 1 in our culinary program, 1 in our automotive program. How do they collaborate with other instructors of like subject material unless they do it in a format like this? Where, sure, I mean, they're competing against each other, but it's education. I mean, it's really about everybody learning and improving from that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. We were lucky enough to have a huge selection of chefs to come into our program.
Yeah.
So I even bounced off of them because they came in from, 5-star restaurants, different locations, and to have them show the students what they knew and then what I could learn from them. And we did a lot of brainstorming. It was pretty exciting to have that connection. And I agree with you, that connection is huge.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, Mr. Bebo, thank you very much for taking the time to join us this morning. I know I kind of contacted you the last minute, but I knew you had some important information to share, and I wanted to make sure that we get it out to our families. I'm sure we'll be visiting with you again shortly when you get some more details about summer school and what middle school and elementary will look like. But thank you so much. It's great to have you.
Oh, it's always good to see you.
You're welcome, Sean. I'm always here for you. And Chef Mary, anytime I can spend with you, I'm going to take. I miss seeing you. I'm very happy that you're having a good time up there, and maybe I can come visit. That wouldn't be so bad. So thank you very much.
That could very well happen.
There you go. See you, Mr. Bebo.
Bye. Have a good day.
Oh, so great things are going on with CTE, Skills USA. You got to love that our students are still competing and finishing in the state level, Mary. That's fantastic. In a pandemic, we're still desert sands, and we got this. We've been talking about that the whole time during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most exciting thing about that was to get the students involved.
Yeah.
And then to see them kind of grow with the whole program. And I mean, they were under a lot of micromanaging and a lot of watching and, doing things, and getting things done in a timely fashion and getting it done correctly. And they stayed with it, because a lot of students would just walk away and said, it's too much for me. But those that hung into the end, I mean, you just know that they have such a great career path, that they have that determination at that level, to participate in a total strange environment.
Yeah, I agree completely. Our next guest, I want to do, this is a nice little transition. We talked about summer school, talked about summer feeding, and what that's going to look like. And to get a better idea, we're going to have Mr. Capello come on here. But just as people want to know, save the date. If you're planning on summer school, that's what it's going to look like, June 8th through July 15th. More information to come. You can see the example of the schedule and the dates, what that'll look like, and then the actual calendar itself. So with that, we're going to transition, Mary. We're going to bring on Mr. Capello to talk about what's going different with nutritional services. Morning, Mr. Capello. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Webb. I'm doing exceptionally well this morning. Good morning, Chef Mary. Nice to see you.
Good morning. It's always good to see you.
So I saw you on the news. I saw you talking to our good friend Madison over at KESQ. Can you share with us what you were sharing and so forth, and what are the differences in meals and so forth now?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, what an incredible year it's been. I'm just blown away at the fact that it was exactly 1 year after all this started that school started up again. So we're really excited about that. We've been serving meals continuously since it started. So now we've added like sort of another level of complexity to all this, where now we have hybrid meals. So we're serving meals on Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays at school sites. And we're doing 7 days of distribution on Wednesdays, and it's been incredible. We're doing about 60 to 80,000 meals a week. We're somewhere headed towards 5 million since this all began a year ago at this point. And 5 million, it sounds like a lot. And in the normal course of the year, that's just what we do. But
yeah,
we have equipment for it and speed lines and refrigeration. So, handing them out in the parking loops has been a whole new level of complexity for us. So far, it's been going pretty well.
So I guess my question, you talk about handing out in parking loops. Hopefully this never happens again in our lifetimes, right? But I'm wondering, have you had any conversations across the hallway with, facilities to see if when they're designing new schools, will they design the cafeteria towards the front?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking about this now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you said that. One of the things we kind of really like when you look at secondary schools, there's two different styles of service. We have speed lines, which are straight lines. They're built for business. They don't look great. They look good, but they don't look great. But they're really made to get people like buffet style, like get them in, get them out fast. And then we have schools like Shadow Hills and Palm Desert High School. Beautiful, gorgeous cafeterias. They're food court mall style, gorgeous. The artwork in there, polished concrete floors. They're built to look pretty. But now trying to get the volume of kids through that line that we're going through right now with keeping social distancing, those don't work. So I think as we move forward, we'll be looking at more of the built for business, get them in and out quick, keep them socially distant. And like you just said, I pray that this doesn't happen again. But we'll definitely need to take that into account when we do design around here. Yeah,
I'm thinking about Palm Desert alone because I got to work there for a year. Yeah, it's exactly that. It's a food court. So I can't imagine you got to go in and put stanchions in and mark the floor and make sure that's all there. Whereas the traditional food line, you just go right through one line.
Yeah, Indio High School, fortunately, they made Indio High School a straight line, and we didn't really like it when we first saw it. It looked very industrial, but now we're very thankful that it was designed that way, and we'll have to look at those types of designs more in the future.
Okay. Now, my question is, and I know Mary had this same question backstage, we're starting up school. We started up on Monday. On the 29th, we start with another group of kids. The rest of the county, the rest of the state is all starting up. Food, is it going to be available for us to have at the school site as well as hand out to our families?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That's a huge concern for us. Right now we're sort of ahead of the curve. We're one of the few that are back already, but we can see more districts coming online. There aren't a lot of distributors that deal with school business, and we're already starting to see distribution challenges. We're going to be able to make sure that we have food. We're going to be in good shape as far as that goes. But I do see we're going to have some maybe you might see pizza on the menu, more than once a week or, whatever it is. We may have to run seconds and stuff. There'll be food, but it may not be the variety that we would want. We may have to streamline things because distribution is going to be a challenge for us, with getting food into the kitchen here.
Oh, yeah. I think we're seeing that. We see that at Big Bear as well. Actually, our biggest issue is weather, getting our trucks up and down the hill. But right now, we're starting to see our staff leave for the season because we're a seasonal operation. And yesterday, my job to hop in was to fill 1,000 boats, little cardboard things with the papers inside. It was like, okay. I all day long, and I thought, oh my gosh, I feel like Ethel and Lucy with the chocolate.
Exactly.
Little things with things and putting them in just to get ahead of it. I mean, the prep alone. I'm a real advocate of prepping, and the prep alone is it's huge. Because you can't, once you let your guard down and the prep isn't there, you are just in the weeds completely.
Absolutely. That's our next challenge is we're going to, we were very, very proud of having salad bars at almost every elementary school. But now we're, really our focus for the last year before this started was to try to eliminate packaging as much as possible. There's just too much plastic packaging, too much.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
It's just, unfortunately, federal regulations, everything has to be weighed, everything has to be measured. The best way to do that is with packaging. We were trying to work our way away from that to the best of our ability, but no, it's going to be back. And it's the packaging is going to be a huge challenge for next year. It's just very interesting. In a way, it seems like this is kind of over. The kids are coming back. We've got the plan now. We know how this is going to work, but there's going to be some challenges in the upcoming school year that we're going to have to figure out too as we kind of work our way through this process.
And I know more and more you guys are going back to the ways of, I want to say when I went to school, they were making the food right at the school site. And we had chefs and so forth. And I know that more and more you were moving towards that. Now we have to change direction a little bit now. But we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, that's absolutely the goal. We've done some remodeling on our central kitchen. We have to do some more, but we're hopeful that we can start to do more scratch cooking, and that may come as soon as next year.
Okay.
But, I would love to try to get site cooking, to do a test where we took an elementary school and we prepared the food on site instead of shipping it from our central kitchen. So hopefully we can look at that. I mean, a year ago that didn't really make sense, but the world and the nutrition department has changed so much that we really have to be creative and try to figure out new and better ways to do what we do.
Yeah, I think what we found out too, Dan, is to be able to make the prepackaged products so that it will last.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing salads, we actually went straight to cherry tomatoes and they weren't sliced anymore. And prepackaged like croutons, and we had to prepackage any of the salad dressings. So it became very commercialized from that where you could say, and what kind of dressing would you like? And we'd have 5 or 6 choices. And now it's down to, the little PCs. But we still have to pre-do the salads, and then they're all dated. And if they're not taken, then we have a waste report to deal with.
Absolutely.
The same thing with you. So you want to keep your food costs down, and you want to keep the waste down. So it's just creative on how to make a cucumber last for a couple of days if it's a sliced one or a carrot or whatever. So it's a challenge. I can appreciate a million of those.
Yeah, these were all problems that we kind of worked our way away from over the last few years, and now it's just like starting, all over again. We're going to have to drastically redesign a lot of what we do, and I hope that we emerge fully from COVID, but as of right now, it doesn't really seem like that'll be the case. We're probably going to have COVID protocols with safety and wrapping and distancing for the foreseeable future. But yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have to commend you. March 13th last year, we found out we're not going to school, right? That was the last day of school. And we didn't come back till the 15th. But I'll tell you, by March 16th, 3 days later, you guys were able to just hand out meals in the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And you guys were able to adjust that fast. I know you guys will be able to make the adjustment now, knowing that we've got some time to think about it and plan out for it. Knowing that you guys are able to move in 3 days to do 10,000 meals, I know you guys will be able to move and need to do what you need to do to serve the millions of meals that you serve. So I commend you guys for everything that you do. You got a great think tank over there. I know that you and Carlos have worked together, and you got a great team over there. So once again, I commend you guys for everything that you've done. 5 million. I don't care what it is. That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Like when we were trying to figure, not us, but the world was trying to figure out the how to distribute all these vaccinations. I was like, train the lunch ladies to do it, because nobody can get them in and out of a line faster than our staff here in New Jersey.
Exactly.
We could have accomplished all of it if they were Amazon drivers and lunch ladies. Everybody would get the vaccination in hours.
I agree with you 100%.
Then you have to throw in the concession cooks, because I think the other day we did like 3,000 people. Wow. And you've got lines of just burger, hot dog, chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy. It was like, come on, we have food over here. And because you just want to break that line down, because we still have to keep them, 6 feet apart. So now you have 5 people instead of 30, in line, and then trying to keep them in their mask and whatever. So these concession people, I mean, they've gotten so they're like, come on, get over here. What can I help you for? What do you want? Mustard, ketchup, up, get up out the line to the cashier.
I agree with you 100%. I think of I am neurotic about lines, and they absolutely frustrate me. So whether it's our line here at Nutrition, or it's at a store or a restaurant in the community, I just feel like we got to get this line moving. It just makes me absolutely crazy to see lines. So it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Exactly.
Knowing that, Dan, you know that I got a Comic-Con connection, right?
I do.
Do you know the department I even work for in Comic-Con?
No, I don't think I do 100%.
All we do, you'll love this. All we do is manage the lines.
Yeah.
At Comic-Con. We manage the lines for the 5,000 person hall, right down to the hall that only holds 200 people. But that's literally what I do. So knowing that you have a passion for this, I may have to call you on one of these summers to come join us over there.
I would love to do that. Last year we had several students from La Quinta High School. They were invited to a national nutrition conference that happened to be in Palm Desert. And we had our team, so we had students that were involved with nutrition professionals from all over the country. And the team that won, it was 2 kids from La Quinta High, and I forget their names, or I would mention them right now. But they came up with a way to move the lines faster, called it Disney Up Your Line, where even though we know that the lines have to be a certain distance, make them entertaining. You know, have signage or have whatever you can do to keep people's mind off the time frame and just sort of make it as entertaining as possible.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mr. Capello, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.
Got a lot of great things coming out of your department. Geez, anything else you'd like to share with us before we sign off?
Yeah, just very quickly. So as you just explained about the summer school schedule, food distribution will go on this summer just the way that it has. We may have to sort of close some sites. But every kid in the community will have meals available to them with the drive-up fashion, just like we're doing now. We may not have it at pretty much every school like we do now. We may have to, shrink that a little bit, but there'll be plenty of meal distribution sites to take care of the community. So we're excited about that.
Excellent. Thank you, Dan. You have a great day. Chef Mary, anything before he signs off?
No, I just admire. I mean, we always fuss when we have 3,000. But I mean, I can't imagine. I've been in your kitchen, and to see the ladies that work there, and I was a cafeteria lady for a short while. That wasn't my forte, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't believe that at all. But
it was like I think I was so used to making food that you made from scratch.
Yeah.
And even working in concessions up in Big Bear, it's like, okay, everything is sort of boil and bag and pre-made, and because we're a concession, and our job is to feed multitude of people quickly because they want to be on the slopes.
Yep.
So I just hand it to the ladies that work with you, or the gentlemen in those kitchens, because it is a challenge, but it's fun. I mean, it was fun and it was a challenge at the same time.
It is. It was very nice to see you this morning, Chef Mary.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Dan.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dan.
I just got to say this again. 5 million meals.
I can't imagine.
Food. That's no way you look at it. That is a lot of food.
When I had to do those 1,000 boats yesterday, I was standing there and I just thought, this is never, ever going to end. And then the supervisor came over and he goes, well, if you have time, there's another case back there. And I said, I'm on 5 and out right now. It's like,
okay.
You're one, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
So I mean, the repetition, because in the real cooking world, I shouldn't really say that, but in the restaurant world, everything is sort of different and everything else is. But in this world, it's a lot of repetitive motions and filling it up. And I'm sure if those kids have pizza twice a week, they're not going to fuss.
I see Dan backstage laughing.
I remember it.
They're not going to fuss over pizza. You're right, Mary. I'll take the pizza as well.
When they had pizza, they were always sitting outside of our culinary building. You could always tell it was pizza day because they weren't in our kitchen trying to beg food.
Too funny. Before we sign off, Mary, I just want to give a highlight to us and to our communications team by showing some stats here. So Facebook is great with everything that they're able to provide you and so forth. But I just want to show this stat here. Since the last 4 weeks, we've been able to reach and speak to over 16,000 people, Mary.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Share our messages. We're engaging them. So this means they're liking it, they're commenting, they're doing those types of things over 7,000 times. And then in the last month, we've helped increase over almost 100 people in page likes. So I got to say, Mary, you're doing an amazing job, and thank you for volunteering with us and allowing us to invade your mountain time.
Well, I think too, Sean, that the people that come on with us, like Dan and Kevin and Craig and Mary Perry and all those people, that they join in on the program and they add so much to it.
Yep.
Because their energy, we need their energy.
Yes.
Because after a while, your energy level starts to kind of wane away. But then when they come on, they sort of spur you into remembering things and appreciating what they do and their enthusiasm. And so I applaud the people that we bring on and that are willing to come on and come in the morning and take time to be with us. I think that's just real critical. It's almost like it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes all of these people that you bring into us to raise this program to the level that it's gotten. I mean, I can't believe we've been on 62 times a year, almost a year.
Yeah, and to think about it, that's just 62 times with Desert Sands. You and I started this long before, and for those of you that have been with us long enough, you'll notice this used to be our old background, if you remember that.
That's right, yes.
You was Chef Mary, and this was our background, the culinary kitchen over at La Quinta.
That was my home away from home.
Yeah, that's right. You're home away from home. But I'll tell you, Mary, you talk about our visitors, and it takes a village and so forth. I'll say that it's 9:37 now, in a short 23 minutes from now, I'll be hosting all the athletic directors. And Mary Perry will be on, the public information officer. We're going to have our senior director, Dylan, his stepdad's going to be on with us, Dr. Wood, to talk about athletics and what that's going to look like. And here we got another partnership. We got a partnership with the Desert Sun, and the Desert Sun's going to have Shad Powers, who's their lead sports reporter.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and he's going to come on and he's going to talk to them about what it looks like to go to an event. How do you get to go to a football game? Will there be concession stands, restrooms, everything that's brand new? We're going to be able to share and talk about that here in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be able to do our barbecue tailgate.
Yeah, I hate to say, I don't think there's going to be any tailgating going on for the near future. Hopefully by next fall. But I'll tell you, the La Quinta boys and the rest of the Desert Empire League and Desert Valley League football starts up Friday, tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so La Quinta plays Shadow Hills tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Well, Sean, up at Big Bear, we purchased these things. They call them the container, and I don't know if it's really its name, but it's a great big box that's totally separates the inside people from the outside people. And you actually have a cashier. Several hot boxes. So we have chili, soups, burritos, cold sandwiches, cold salads. And that's worked out really well for us because we've been able to serve that population without them having any physical contact with anyone, with the stanchions and the lines. And maybe that's a direction they may consider going, to do the food at the football games, because it does work.
I will definitely be learning as I'm asking the questions later. Because we're going to find out here in about 20 minutes. I'm excited to have them on. It's quite a group. I've got, Coach Reese over from Quinta, and then I got Coach Salazar. I've known Coach Salazar since I moved to the district in 2005, and I worked with him over at Palm Desert High. And he's been athletic director at Palm Desert. I think he's been one of 3 athletic directors there since Palm Desert opened. And then you got Mr. Shipley, who's at Indio High School. Then you got Coach Walsh, who's over at Shadow Hills High School, who's going to join us. And what's great is I've got a good, deep connection with all of them. So we're going to have a great conversation later.
Exactly. That would be great. I mean, I think it's going to be exciting, and I hope they found our napkin. I hope La Quinta didn't lose the napkin. I will be sorely disappointed if they've lost that napkin.
Okay, we'll have to reach out to Chef Wood and over there. I'm sure it's somewhere in the kitchen.
It is a legacy that must carry on forever and ever and ever.
If you keep on saying that, you might have to come in and do a legacy meal for them too.
I would be delighted. Totally delighted.
Excellent. Well, Chef Mary, I'm going to close us out here. Like I said, I've got about 20 minutes before I'm on again. You have a great afternoon and great morning, and I'll catch up with you on Tuesday.
Okay, I'll see you then.
All right, we'll see you. And everybody out there, have a great day. Thank you again for watching us. We'll be on Tuesday with Classroom Conversations. Oh, wait 1 second. All right. We will have a good day. I thought we had some comments, but no comments. All right. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.